Hi everyone, welcome back to ABCD. My name is Neha Joseph. So for this month's video, it's going to be split up into two parts. I did something special for this month. I had a discussion with a couple of my friends from school where we talked about representation for the Asian community and racism towards and kind of inside of the Asian community. I hope you guys like it.
Hi everyone, this is the discussion part of the video. I have Rami Pramod from last month and Nupan, he's also in our grade. My first question is, how do you think racism is shown towards Asians? I personally think that racism is shown through microaggression, like, for an example, jokes.
Yeah, no, offensive jokes are definitely a big part of the racism shown towards Asians. I also mentioned those backhanded compliments kind of that we get that, you look good for an Asian or stuff like that. And it really has a profound effect on us, I think, just our well-being and our psyche in general. It doesn't do us any good. It makes us feel like we're not supposed to be attractive or have good culture, good food in that sense. And that's one of the main ways that I think racism is shown towards Asian Americans.
I definitely feel like, you can go, Rami.
I was just gonna say, like, the backhanded compliments, especially like you look really pretty. I think that plays into like the light skin versus dark skin. Even like not even just like Asians, but like in the entire like world as a general, like you're the beauty concept of what's like most pretty is like light skin. Like the lighter skin you are, the more prettier you are. Like that's just like how America was kind of like the Eurocentric beauty standards, and that was brought over. And so like I think that plays the like into the microaggressions and like I think that also plays into some of the beauty products that are like displayed in like ads in India, because I know like every time I go to India and I like turn on the commercials, there's always Fair and Lovely, which is like supposedly a cream that makes your skin lighter, and like I get the concept behind it if you were like sunburnt or something, but like it's also supposed to make like your natural skin lighter, which I don't think is like a good effect, especially since it's like aimed towards girls. I don't think that's a good effect for girls to have.
Like, going back to what Nupan said about like the food, like, I went to ASMS, so like they're not the friendliest people, and I just remember people telling me like I would bring sambar to school and they were like, ew, that looks like throw up, what is that? Or like in elementary school, my mom made paisam, and like people are like, ew, is that worms in the food? And there was literally one person who ate it and said really nice things about it. Is there anything else you guys want to add in?
I think with the food, I went to charter, which was like a relatively small school. There was only like 50 of us in each grade, and so luckily, like people were usually like really nice about it. But I think I went to a bunch of different elementary schools growing up. Like I switched every year, and so I know like my parents obviously didn't want us buying like lunch food if we could help it. So like they would bring me or they would make me food, and I remember like begging my mom to change it up from like idli or dosa or whatever, and like beg her to make me sandwiches or like something like more normal. I believe that was like the exact word I used. And like looking back on it, I remember my mom always asking me like, "What's wrong? Like, why are you crying? What's wrong?" And I would be like, "Kids always make fun of me. Why can't you make me something normal to eat? Why do we have to be like this?" And like now I'm proud of who I am. Like, and I don't care if people insult me, but like it's a dangerous thing to go through as a young child.
I've had someone in the, oh, sorry, you can go.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a great point about the food. I think we can discuss it later, but that's sort of one of the ways how racism becomes internalized in the Asian community. I've seen on multiple occasions, even in high school, like kids trying to hide their food a little bit if they bring from a different ethnicity or Indian food, just because they've been made fun of it in the past and they don't want it to happen again. So that's a major way. Just the different culture and aspects of being who we are comes under fire sometimes, and that's not a good thing.
Like, I've had someone in the high school tell me, like, I brought Italy with sambar, and they're like, oh, so that's where the smell's coming from. My next question is, do you think there's internalized racism in the Indian/South Asian community? Who wants to go first?
I can go first. So I'm just gonna speak from like the girls' point of view. I think there's definitely an internalized sense of racism in the community, and that racism also plays into like sexism too. But the racism is like between, I think mostly like colorism, like the light skin versus dark skins, like I mentioned before. And I think like a great example of it in our like society now is on TikTok, which is like a popular social media platform. Last year, a popular sound was "I'm from the South," and so I would scroll through TikTok, and that was like all that occupied my For You page. But it would be like all of these beautiful girls and dressed up, wearing like the amazing clothes and like showing off their culture, and I was always in awe because like I would see like the differences between like the North Indians and the South Indians, like how we dress differently, and I thought it was amazing. And I looked at the comment section, and it was almost like always full of hate, and it was just like, why would you like, they're also Indian, like they're part of your culture whether you like it or not, like we share the same values as like a group of people, so like why do you hate on someone just because they're from a different part of the country? Like it just seems so stupid to me.
Like the TikTok and Daisy community is so weird because like yes we get representation in that sense, but at the same time Raimi and I are like both South Indian, so like we don't get much TikTok representation since it's more mainly like Gujaratis and like people from the north.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've seen that stereotype inflicted in different sources of media we've consumed. There's always the stereotype of the South Indian, what they look like, their different mannerisms, and the North Indian. I'm from Punjab, so there's always the light skin kind of dumb or likes to party and drink and all that sort of stereotypes. But um, the region has to do with it, and also I think the religion has to do with the different racism that's embedded in the Indian community. For example, Hindus, there's a big Hindu supremacist movement going on right now, and they think that Hinduism is the only religion that should be in India compared to the many, many other religions such as Islam, Christianity, Sikh. So um, there is there's work to be done in that area, I think.
Religion is a huge problem in India because like it's just really bad, especially like after the independence, how like the Muslims were forced to go into Pakistan, and like there's still issues today between the religions that's and like with the north and south, where like the north will be like, yeah, we're better than the south people, or like the south are like, oh, it's a snobby North Indians. and like and then colorism is also a huge problem, like what Raby said with like Fair and Lovely. I know during like the BML movement, a lot of Bollywood stars that supported what is it, Fair and Lovely, they got called out. For example, like Kajol, she got called out by so many people that like since she was like a person that used Fair and Lovely a lot. And I think Deepika also got called out for using Fair and Lovely.
I think there's like a dangerous line there before Fair and Lovely because obviously the way they promote it isn't good. I think the product would be a beneficial product for girls and boys, obviously, but like since it's aimed for girls, it would be like beneficial if like a girl were to get like sunburnt or if like something like that. But like the way it's promoted, especially the visuals, I always saw the visuals. It would be someone of like my specific like skin color. Like I'm more dark skinned than most of my family, but like it'd be someone of my specific skin color, and their like the visuals would transform from like my color to a really light skin color. And I think like growing up, I would always go up to my mom and I'd be like, why can't I use Fair and Lovely? Like I want my skin to look like that. Like I want to be pretty too. But and my mom would be like, but you're so pretty. Like your skin color is like it's you. Like why do you want to change that? But like I think those commercials also play a big role in like the prejudices people have in like colors wise.
Yeah, definitely. It's just seen as preferable in India to have like lighter skin, and uh, there because from my personal experience, my mom, she is very light skinned, almost white looking, whilst my father, he is more dark skinned, and I of course kind of sort of the middle, but leaning towards my mother's side on the lighter side of skin, and I always would get the compliment from my relatives in India. You got your mother's skin. That's a good thing. So I'd be like, why is that a good thing necessarily? But Um, they see it as kind of a status symbol. I'm not sure if that's from the oppression that Indians deal with from the British, where they were ruled by people with white skin and seen as kind of a power symbol. But the colorism is a main factor of racism in India.